Hola. Okay, let's get this started. Gonna have a nice good stream tonight. Work on some cool stuff, maybe. Not sure yet. We'll see. I do have a nice 3-hour to 4-hour stream planned, so let's set the clock. Get started. We got a lot of work done today. Kindred was able to fix a couple of bugs. We were having problems with Prismatic, where basically when you died, I turn on prismatic shapes. When you died, your prismatic shapes would go away. And so as you would take damage and die, then you would respawn, and you would no longer have prismatic shapes, nor would anything in the world. We were able to solve that problem thanks to help from Sovereign and Kindred. So very much appreciate Sovereign taking the time to do that. And then Kindred was able to actually implement the change in the Prismatica manager. So with that, now all of our creatures and all of our things work. The grass looks good and deforms after I die, and then, you know, as I take damage and I die, it slides. It's a pretty gruesome but cool thing, right? So that's always important. It's looking good though. Maybe if I fly through here. No, that one only just like affects one. Still, it's good. And we were able to fix that. And then we also had a bug where we had issues with the stunning, and when you would get stunned, which is very rare for the player, but it does happen. But when you would get stunned, you would not be able to get out of stun. You would be stun locked permanently. We made some changes to that ability, and now you can get out of stun lock, which is awesome. So, we're good. Goal for tonight is we're gonna have to. I want to finish up that flower. I want to spend a little bit of time making it pretty and making it work. Media working? Okay, it is. It's just really quiet. Okay, got it. I was wondering why it wasn't working. But we do have to spend some time getting that squared away and looking all nice. So we'll get that good to go. And then after that is good to go, who knows where that'll take us. Right now, that's where we're at, and that's what we're working on. So we're going to start off by working on some foliage. I actually enjoy foliage. I think it's fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I really do actually enjoy it. So we'll get some Maya fun in today. Always a good day when you're in Maya, right? Okay, don't need that. Have to clean that up. Definitely dirty. Oh, I don't have any need for any of those. Okay. Hopefully everybody had a good day at work today. I think I'm probably going to duplicate this maybe twice. And then I want one more. And this one's going to kind of just stick here. This one's going to be small. Kind of funny that it keeps that though. This one's gonna definitely be a lot bigger. Come this way, and then we're just gonna reduce that size and probably rotate it. Good answer. I'm excited for this weekend because I want to get some more work done on the character. I'm going to have to figure out this scheduling though, because I have. It says, I think it says on my schedule that I start at 8, but it starts at 8 EST, I think, and that's not my actual schedule. It's 8 CST. And so I think some people might be getting confused. Not that I have, like raving people waiting for me, but I do think that it is causing some confusion because I am definitely not starting on EST. Did that go? Yeah, that is going to go that far. And let's go this way, this way, this way. For a slight curve back. And then we're going to turn on our... Ooh, that was way too much. And curve it down. Maybe increase it a little bit. More. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Down and over. Maybe not so aggressive. That's kind of nice. Maybe pull it up more. Yeah. I think I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Maybe a lot of it. Make it come here. That's almost perfectly flush with that one, which I don't want. It's not bad. Okay, we might have that come over a little bit, I think. Because that's how that would kind of get weighted a little bit. Yeah, and this would probably come here. Yeah, okay. That's good. Maybe a little bit closer to this stock. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have there be a tiny one right here. So the reason why we want this, I don't know why, if this is PCG or if I painted this. Oh, I painted all this. That's why. Okay. So let's get rid of this. Right? We don't need that. We have PCG, so let's use what we got, right? Go to PCG and I pull out our forest spline and we plop that bad boy in here. I promise I'm gonna try my best to not make this a PCG stream. I was renaming everything today, and I realized the sheer volume of PCG streams I've done in the last couple of days I was like, ugh, I gotta stop. I mean, it's just so much fun, you know? It's literally just so much fun, especially just making things and then having it spawn in and not having to do anything with it. Oh, man, so much fun. Okay, so we have PCG here. And then basically we can toggle it off, toggle it on. I think I need to do a refresh state. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And the reason why this works is I wanted to see these flowers because that's going to be how we set this up. But I also, as you know, last night I was struggling with getting PCG to not work in certain areas. I was able to get PCG to work for non-plant or grass areas and also for wet sand. So for the sake of what we're going to be doing, I'm not going to get into that today because again, that's not what we're trying to do. But I do want to erase some of this grass area so that way PCG can come back in, and then we'll just have the grass be in those areas right there. Well, maybe let's just do this. Let's clear all the grass out together. Here we go. And then let's fill the world with generated. And then let me paint some dirt down. Kind of showing off the power that PCG is, right? And then let us paint in the grass. So we already have a spot here that's kind of empty. So let's put some grass there. The whole purpose of this level is to see the different foliages and how they work. So we do want to kind of create a point of where that's looking pretty. Be Blue, hey man, I'd like to ask you why always I need to turn off UDP messages and studio telemetry, since when I open New World doesn't matter which. After 5 minutes I have a huge lag. Thanks, mate. Wait, what? That's a interesting question. I don't know if I have the answer to it. So you're saying that I'd like to ask why I always need to turn off UDP messaging and studio telemetry since when I open a new world. Do you mean like a new world, the game, or are you talking about in Unreal? Sorry, I need a little bit of clarity. Stream for progress in game dev. If that means multiple PCG streams, then that is as it is. So I'm using UDP. Or actually, no, I'm not. Yeah, those two plugins. So what's UDP messaging and studio telemetry? I don't know. I'd have to look. Let me look at Fab real quick. I can maybe help you find your answer. I'm not gonna promise anything. Oh, my phone is going off. 1 second. I gotta go turn that off real quick. 1 second. Okay. I think I turned off the phone. Woo. Oh, look at Stormy covering down for you. Stormy, a good man. There we go. No, and I know if I have to do PCG, I have to do PCG, but I really don't have to do PCG. PCG just makes the world look pretty. That's it, you know? Appreciate the assist, Stormy. Yeah, so I like that. Let's just paint down a little bit more so that way it's fully 100% easily seen and recognized. Okay, cool. No more playing around with it. It's good. I got a big, huge grass area. I can see it. I got some palm trees in here, so it's a good little test. Whole purpose of this place is that it's for testing, and that's the reason why we do it. So yay us. Okay. So I'm gonna get out of landscape mode. We're gonna turn off PCG and then turn it back on. But is there any chance to turn off that like forever? Hold on. Let me see what he actually sent. I didn't read it. UE 5.4. So basically, I just updated 5.41 and everything was smooth when I opened the project. However, after about 5 minutes, I switched to another application and then back to UE. Issue occurred again. I checked the logs and found there's identical lines of warning saying that log to display temp texture streaming buffer blah 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 blah. Thank you so much. The issue is resolved now with these 3 plugins disabled. So he basically says to disable plugins. Disable the studio telemetry plugin. Disable. Everybody's saying disable the studio telemetry plugin. He's actually, that staff is responding to this one. I should save the U project file, maybe try manually take it out. Wow, I can't believe he's actually responding. There's some good. Sean Comley. Okay, it was a bug fixed in 4.5.4.3. In the meantime, they're running the derivative cache. So are you in 5.4.3? Yeah. There's a lot on there. That is a big thread. I didn't run into this problem. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not using studio telemetry, so reporting on UE 5.4.4, I had the issue and tried what has been suggested in the comments and nothing worked. What worked for me is I noticed my laptop charger was not connected properly. I make sure it is plugged in and charging, and suddenly performance becomes stable. So check your power settings. On my side, it was a power issue. I mean, that's not like what these people are dealing with, but okay. That your entire thing would have been sluggish if you're trying to run off of a laptop the entire time. I'm not sure if this worked for me, but suddenly all the inconsistency I have with the state tree AI disappeared and began to work as intended. I've updated 5.4.4 and the bug is still there. Extremely laggy usage of it. Obviously, the problem has never been solved. Have you also tried running insights to verify that it's caused U-texture force rebuild platform data? The bug is supposedly fixed already, so I would be appropriate to double check if that's the same problem or different problem. So they're saying it's fixed on 5.4.4. But then other people are saying it's still there. Yeah, that would kill me. That would kill me. The stuttering and the hitching. Oh man. I hope you find the answer because that's whoa. All they have is that they're aware of the dev team, so expect a fix to come through sometime. Yeah, I mean, so they're saying it's fixed in 5.4.4, but then other people are not. I wish I had an answer for you. I don't have that problem because I'm not using it. Yeah, I would think so too. I'm not using studio telemetry, so I don't have that problem. But it is definitely created from that. What is studio telemetry? What does that do? Is it just giving you some like extra data or something about what's going on? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, good to have, but don't have a good answer for you. Don't have a good answer for you. Okay. Wish I did, though. Tracker and reporter. For what, though? What are they tracking? Like, statistics or optimization. Cool, thanks. Since I'm using Unreal Engine for motion design. Oh, after I kill those plugins, it works perfectly. And even when I turn on Niagara, instant crash. Yeah. No buenos there. That's not fun. I want to get into motion. I want to get into motion design. I've been so excited, but you know, I have a similar problem where I want to get into Substrate, but I can't enable Substrate because it's an instant crash for me. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of new cool things that I want to try out, and yeah, I'm in the same boat. So I hope they fix it, because yes, that is, I feel your pain. Oh, cut down. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that either. I'm excited. I'm excited for motion design. I really am. There's a lot of cool stuff in there that I have seen, and you know, if it delivers even on a fraction of what that is. I remember. So if you've been in it for 16, do you ever remember what was the name of that program? Oh man. It was one of the first 3D rendering ones. I used that one. I used to take like 18 to 30 hours to render. Damn, I can't remember. Bryce? Bryce? Was that what it was called? I think it was Bryce. Hold on. Now you have me questioning myself. Yeah, Bryce 3D. Oh my god. Such a back in the day. Good old Bryce. I remember I would like make something and I'd put a landscape down. I was like maybe what 5, 6, I don't know, 10, maybe 10, I don't know. But I would sit there and I would set up the world and the landscape and the grass and the sunset, and then I'd press the button for render and come back a day later and it like corrupted on half the render. I'd be like, no, I just wanted a picture. Good old Bryce. I hated that program. But that's what I got, you know, started into. Bryce was how I got started into 3D and making things and rendering and doing all that. Funny. I have not remembered that program in forever. It brought back memories. I think that's one of the main reasons why I walked away from it, was that process. I was not about ready to spend that much time trying to deal with that headache. Raralaro. I didn't say that right. Rara lararo. I can't know. What, you gotta have a better, like, how do I say this name? By the way, hello. Even the render engine, since Cinema 4D is compatible with UE5, which is amazing. You know, that is actually cool. Cinema 4D, I've seen a lot of cool things. I haven't messed with it. I wanted to get into motion design and live actual editing for a long time. I absolutely, like I said, I absolutely love the idea of it. There's a group of people, I can't remember, but they have like a studio and they built the green screen in the background and they do all the cool stuff with it. I think that would be, you know, in another life where I wasn't in game dev, I think that would be an absolutely awesome career to do, is making movies in Unreal. I think that would be sick. I enjoyed I enjoy the game dev process too much to do that. Maybe if that was like my day career or something, like my daytime career or something, I could do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like VFX. So VFX is actually what I thoroughly enjoy. Um, I was really very good with Cascada or Cascade or however you want to say it. I don't. There's like 6 different ways people say it. But I was very good with it, and I absolutely loved it. And then I learned Niagara once that came out, and I still absolutely love Niagara. Super fun to play with and mess around with. Um, I'm not flawless on all the things that it can do because it is very powerful, and I have not. I just haven't mastered it all. But yeah, I like the VFX side of the house because it basically, the cool part about the VFX stuff is it pulls together um kind of all of the wheelhouses that I'm at. You get the tech art type of style. You also have to work with materials. You're dealing with your 3D meshes and how they render and transform. It's all animation as well, and you have to kind of understand the build up, the breakdown, the impact, and then the cooldown. And yeah, I like VFX. They're fun. I will. I thought about doing a stream on the particle hit, but I don't. Maybe I'll save that for the weekend or something. I don't know. We'll see. I really wanted to finish the flower from last night. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going for a kind of weird one. It's not a normal one. I'm going for. It's not an actual flower. This is from my own head. But basically, what I want to do is I want to put a bulb at the top, and then I want to have little side things that kind of come down on the different edges, and it's just like trellises down and kind of droops a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. Almost like little tulips, maybe. Little tulip versions, and they're kind of there, and that's kind of they bud out. I'd have to look at the specific like fauna type, but I don't know. True Mana upgraded some parts. G9 Odyssey, 490 RTX OC. Still didn't finish my upgrade. 64 cores, Threadripper. Yeah, I want the Threadripper. I'm gonna have to wait until I finish my move. But once I get my move done, I am getting the Threadripper. I am going to town. Right now, I have the i9 13KF, KS, one of the two. I have the 490. I have the 64 gigs of DDR4 or no DR5. Yeah, I have all the sweet stuff that makes the computer go brr. But yeah, it needs some upgrading. We'll do that when I get my move finished. Lionberry bush. That's an interesting one. That might be it. Let me look. Lionberry. Oh, that's from a different game, but yeah. No, I'm trying to think. I don't have it really good. Sure, go ahead, man. Thank you a lot. What am I going ahead with? What'd I do? It doesn't matter what hardware you have. It's like, oh, finish your grass. It's not grass. It's a flower. Uh, If your render time get too hard, otherwise, is second system play a long game while waiting at wait. Oh, that's okay. You're responding to him. Otherwise, invest in a second system and play a long game while waiting. I believe that. Yeah. Lingian, not lion. Oh, Lingian. Okay, let me Google it one more time. Lingon. Beer. There are images of this thing? I don't know if I will call it that. No. I butchered it though. No, once I get this next pedal, I'm gonna do the pedal real quick. Once I get the pedal done, then we'll look good. But no, that's not. No. What was I doing? Okay, let's make a flower. Let's make the flower. So that way we're not like I think I'm confusing you and I don't want you to be confused. Plus I also myself don't want to be confused. So let's make the flower part of this bad boy. Let's do 2 and 2 for right now. Actually, probably 4. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I want the nice part here. Bring that in. Oh. Okay, so that gets all brought together, which is good. We're gonna bring this down and bring it in closer. Closer. Bring this over here. So that's good. I want to relearn 3D modeling, but trying to get into it for years again, but I don't have any patience anymore. No, I get that too. When I try to learn Blender, I feel very similar. I would absolutely 5,000% want to relearn modeling specifically so I could not modeling. I guess that's the wrong word because I'm modeling right now. I would want to learn Blender. I really do want to learn Blender. I think Blender would enhance my capabilities in some ways because I wouldn't be restricted in the way that I am with Maya. But in that same vein and breadth, it's not necessarily feasible for me because as I try it, I lose all interest. You know, Maya, you can even bind the keys in Blender to Maya. So the thing is that you're correct, Nash. My problem that I run into Blender is I set it into Maya mode. My problem is knowing where all the like 90 billion sub menus are. Like in Maya, I just right click and it's there. I don't know. Again, for me in Blender, it just does not work. I know there are lots of people who talk about it and say it's amazing, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that for me, myself, and I have not had a good experience trying to get it to work for me. And I absolutely loathe every minute that I'm in that program. And that makes it really hard to want to learn it. No, I get it, and you know that's the thing is I enjoy the modeling process. I enjoy everything about the creation process. Modeling is fun. I don't. Okay, that's a lie. I just lied. I'm sorry. I don't enjoy everything. I absolutely hate rigging and waiting. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Rigging. Damn, I'm lying a lot. Rigging is fun. Waiting is the part that I don't like. Okay, there we I actually like creating the rigs; those are fun. Uh, but yeah, everything from the modeling to the texturing, the UV mapping, that's fine. I even like, the animation aspect. That's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I'm cool with it. And I get people who buy the models too. The only problem that I would have with buying the models is again, none of them matched my style, and so it's really annoying because I can't, like, I'll buy a pack or something like that just to look at it and see what it looks like, and then I can't spend more than 5 minutes with that pack. I did not mean to alter over there. Sorry, I apologize. Dang it. Why is this being silly? Okay, well, there we go. Okay, there we go. I don't like buying models that for that reason, unless I buy something similar looking model stuff that gets, yeah. I don't get the same perk out of it. I just don't have the same luck, you know? I really don't. I wish I did. I wish there used to be a couple of people who were kind of similar to my style. Um and they just they don't make models anymore, so it doesn't really help me. I do the same. Yep, I do the same. Well, because the thing is you can look at them. I like looking at other people's topology, and I like going through what that looks like, and so I enjoy that part of the process. Looking at others' topology and how they chose to do something. Because mine's not, perfect or flawless in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I've never. That's the thing, is I've never used mega scans in any one of my projects, not once. So, like, why would I get it? But at the same time, why not? So, back when I first started, right? I didn't know how vertices, I didn't know how any of that worked. And from one of my high school projects, I needed to make a poster. It was for my graphic design class. I needed to make a poster, and I got in my head that I was going to make the XJ220. Um, and so I made the XJ220 from scratch using splines. And then once I created all the splines around the shape and everything else, then I connected them together and then said make the mesh. That, oh my god! And then I found out that you could do it a lot faster. And when I found that out, I was like, mother, yeah, it was, ugh, disgusting. But the poster worked, and I got my grade. It was good, and I learned a lot. But that was back when Maya was, nobody knew. Nobody except for the industry people were using Maya. Yeah, I'm the same way, Nash. I don't like it. It's too high profile professional. And that is not the kind of style that I do, you know. Well, I don't okay, that sounds bad. I do professional, but I am very stylized in my artistic point of view, and I don't think that I can achieve what I'm trying to do with that. I used Maya only because I love that Final Fantasy. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Now let's pretend that we have a bulb. That's how we're gonna do this, right? Did you try Embergen? No, I have never tried Embergen. Let me look at it. Ember- Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean it's like Houdini, to be honest. Houdini does the same stuff. That's not to discount it. I'm just saying it's basically Houdini. Okay. So we're gonna duplicate this and move it out of here, so that way I have the ref base flower. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to grab this, and we're just gonna put it around. And then we're gonna obviously have to move some shapes once we do this to fit, because we don't want it to do currently doing, but we do want it to have a lid. Wait, what the F? What they're oh, that's right. I don't need to leave this open so I can world it instead of objecting it. Oh, no. Rotate it a little bit. Yep. And then one last one. Move it right here. Nice. Okay, so everything's kind of in that boat. Maybe this needs to come out a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So there's our flower bud. It looks good there. It's not going to look good on the side, but that's why we're going to fix it here in a second. I just want to make sure it makes sense before we do that. Yeah, see how hardcore that is? So basically, I'm going to have to pull both of those in, both those edges in, and then give it a nice good spread there. But that'll give me the inside bud. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to group it. And then that's kind of the plan for what this flower will look like. It'll have one up here. I'm using Ivy and Cinema 4D flowers and stuff. Yeah, well, I'm doing a more controlled thing. I do like Ivy. In fact, I kind of want to play with PCG because PCG can also do this. PCG can also do this, and I kind of want to play with it, but I'm forcing myself not to play with PCG. But anyways, the point is I'm gonna do something like this, and we'll have a smaller bud up top. This will kind of come here, rotate, maybe rotate a little bit. We'll pull it over, pull down, and so I'm thinking we'll basically use this as the flowers. And we'll kind of just, as it gets lower, we're going to maybe increase the size because they're more droopy. And then we would do the same thing. Bring them over, bring them down. Bring it over. Maybe fill that hole. Oh. Can't you stick them to the line? Maybe I'm going to. I want them to kind of stick off just a little because I'm going to have a stem that goes there. I want them to, they get bigger and heavier as they go down. And so I'll have them kind of droop more down as they go down. Now those look like those white flowers named Lily of the Valley. Probably. And that's kind of what I want them to look like. Is this for the Gladiator style game you were working on? I haven't tuned in for a bit. Yeah, Nash. Here, let me show you. We got a lot going on, man. Glad to have you back, by the way. It is for the Gladiator game. I got PCG working, and in the process of getting PCG working, we basically I can create forests now. I can create everything. Forests are not the only thing. I can create basically the whole world in, you know, a click, and then I just have to wait for it to propagate. So, for example, this is the big huge map. This is our island. It now works. So let me toggle it off real quick, and then toggle it back on. Yeah, there we go. PCG's taking its sweet little time today. Sorry. And then let me increase the speed that I fly. So here's our kind of our scope. A lot has been done. We're working a lot of different pieces and everything else. But we made a flower last night, and I just kind of put it together really quickly. And because I put it in really quickly, it's not, you know, a really pretty flower. It's just a flower. But I did work on the logic so that way PCG would place the flower randomly. And that's kind of how it works. And then I made it to where PCG also, I can place blockers so that way PCG won't spawn anything in that area, and I can have, you know, kind of open areas and whatever else. And so if I go to the main menu, save that real quick. Don't even get me started on the boss, bro. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a quick overview. It's like super quick. We're gonna make it run as quickly as possible. So we have the main menu. You have the two different game modes. You have the infinite arena, and then you have the normal campaign. If I start my campaign over, we have a character creator. Character creator lets me do all the different shapes and sizes that I could ever want to do ever in the entire world. You can make a super goofy looking character. You can make it super realistic. Doesn't matter, however you want to do it. We have the character creator for the different eyes, so you can choose the different eyes. And then if you want to go crazy and you want to make it have like a god mode or whatever else for the eyes, you can do that. I prefer white. Well, actually, I kind of like blue. No, that like there's gonna be a particle effect. Basically, this is Rome, but in the future. And so when you do that, your character will vaporize, and then it should come back up to life again. You're basically vaporizing and killing your character because it's like cloning, but we're not there yet. So, anyways, so then I can pick hair, choose the hairstyles. These are placeholders. I need to make them. And then your hair will have different colors that you can choose. Like the tips of the hair will have secondary, or if you have like one of those really cool characters that have emissive hair tips or whatever else, who knows. But you'll be able to choose your colors for all of them. And then your facial hair is the exact same. So you can choose the different facial hairs that you want. Choose the hair color that matches the thing that you want. And then what's cool about our game, I've always wanted to do this. Back in the old day, you could basically set up your presets. I know in all these armor games now you can basically, you know, you die and then you have to go buy the dies and hunt for all that crap. I don't want to have to do all that. So I just want it to where you can set your presets. The characters like less than 10k polys. I have to look specifically, but it's less than 10k. I definitely want to say it's less than 10k. So Here, basically, you can choose the color that you want for your primary color, and all armor that you get will automatically default to this color set. And then you can choose the secondary color and the tertiary color of the armor. Right now, we only have the primary color being working. I have the G and the B on his chest to prove that secondary colors and tertiary colors work. And then if there's any emissives on your armor, this will also change the color of the emissives. And then obviously we have skin colors all the way from albino to like completely dark black. However you like, whatever you want your character to look like. I try to go for a little bit of a tanner version of myself, even though that's not realistic. That's what I try to go to. And then you go into the game. And what we're making is we're making the demo. So for this demo, we're specifically teaching you how to play. And you have your first quest set. This is your Del Torre.
Hey, get over here.
He's going to yell at you and say, come over here.
Hail, trio. You look new around here. Did you arrive with yesterday's batch of slaves? Welcome to Ludus Initium. I am Nemias, your Doctore. What questions do you have? Every action you take costs energy, or what we call stamina. Blocking, running, attacking. All these actions require considerable amounts of stamina to perform. The more actions you take, the quicker you exhaust your stamina. Exhausted gladiators are dead gladiators. Be mindful of your stamina at all times, or the only action you will be taking is walking towards your death.
Yeah, it's 11 labs. So once you do that, basically he'll tell you all the things that you want to do. It's 11 labs. It's basically AI generated. We're gonna have VO, but it'll all be AI generated. Unless I get a crap ton of money and then I can, you know, cheat it. So I was not paying attention because I was talking to you guys. Yeah, it's AI. I spent a lot of time getting it right. Yeah, he's got a bunch
Hail,
of
trio.
lines.
You look new around. Ah, I see. Mastering your weapon of choice will enable you to perform complex attacks in succession. We call this a combo attack. Each weapon has a unique set of attacks that can be chained together, but you must time them properly, or you will pay the price.
So we'll have VO for basically every character. And then if I get, you know, maybe the high profile characters will hire a VO actor, but 11 labs works just fine. So anyways, to finish off the tutorial, you're supposed to start the event, and there's a couple of things you're supposed to do. You're basically supposed to block the hits, and you're supposed to stun him. You have what's called perfect parry. There's a little thingy that shows above his head, and the particle effect, if you perfect parry in the right time with the iframe, then basically it'll do a stun. You have to like hold down right click. Not easy. It's not meant to be easy. Perfect parries are hard to do, but if you get your timing down, you can basically get it. And then he'll block as well, based off of stamina. We added in dodge. I don't know how long ago you saw, but we added in dodge now. And then obviously you have the blood part. Once you finish the level here, then you got to go to the dungeon. Basically, it's open world at this point. You can travel around and do whatever you want. You don't have to go to the dungeon, but it is on your map and it is being shown to you saying, hey, go to the dungeon. But you don't have to, and if you go try to do the dungeon, you probably won't complete it right away because you're not powerful enough. So much like Elden Ring and other Souls games, you really got to go and kind of explore. And so out here we have animals and other things. Right now these are just basic AI just walking around. And obviously that's a Polygon asset. It's not one of mine, but I will be remaking that. That'll be one of the streams one day that we do. And then what we'll be doing is you'll traverse inside of the jungle. You'll traverse outside the towns and go around and basically find the hostile NPCs. It's a little hard to find right now because I don't have the jungle on, so I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna turn on. Okay, they're over there. I turned on Predator Vision. And so now the hostiles are there. You basically can kill them. What's unique about our game is every single character, everything they have drops. If I wanted that shield, I could pick that shield up and use that shield. And see, I perfect parried. Now he's weak and susceptible to my stuff. Oh, he's gonna try to run. No, Oh, he healed. No, no, don't die. Oh, he's blocking me. I'm getting cocky. Okay, let's get some weapons. Leave me alone, man. I'm just trying to gear up. Gear is the one thing that makes you strong in this game. That's the only way you upgrade your abilities. That's the only way you upgrade anything is based off of gear. So, gear is the most important factor in this game. If you don't have good gear, then you don't have the ability to basically have more life or anything. And as I died there, damn it. So when you die, you basically go back to wherever you saved. It does not save the whole state of the world. It just saved my character, and that's it. I dropped all my gold, and so I just lost all my gold. So dying is not a fun thing to do, because I probably most likely, unless I have a save state that's really close, I probably most likely am going to lose all of my stuff. And so you would basically fight around with these characters and get better gear, and that's how you would upgrade yourself to where you could go and fight the dungeon. So we come over here. If I finally decided to do what I'm supposed to do for the actual game, there'll be POIs across the map. This is a placeholder, just that's what I've got right there. Did you see the new update for walking so it doesn't look like the character is sliding on the floor? Man, I have no words. My brain is analyzing how much nodes it is in there, and then when you kill a guy, the blood stays on the leaves. Wow, yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of new stuff that we haven't put in here yet. Motion matching is a big thing, and I can't wait to have motion matching kind of, fully functioning. But I got to get the new character done. That's this weekend. I'm gonna work on the new character. I already finished rigging him on one of the previous streams, and I finished waiting him off of stream. I am working on it primarily by myself. However, I did have Mester. Mester's done all the code. We made the game in 7 days during the game jam. Let me pause it real quick. We made the game in 7 days during the game jam for Mega Jam. Mester did all the code, and I did all the art, right? And then we spent about 6 months. We spent about 6 months making tweaks and changes and balance and everything else. And then after we finished doing that, we kind of got to a good state. I hired on Kindred from Kindred Games. He's actually working on our team now. I have him working on the arena estate, and then he'll be working on some other stuff. But Kindred is awesome, and that's why I was super happy to have him. I'm gonna grab his link real quick. He makes swords and magic is his game, but basically that's his channel. And then I think youtube.com/kindred, I think is what it is. Maybe, I don't know. Hold on. He has it here, I think. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is his actual game. Cool. Awesome. So basically, I got Kindred on the team, and once I got Kindred on the team, he's been working on that. He'll be helping me with world building, designing, and character creation later on. But his primary focus is working on the arena mode and making the roguelite version of that, right? So he'll be focused on that. Probably, I want to say, for the rest of the year. Maybe in November we'll have it finished to a good place. And then I have Rock Kicker, who is a level design guy who's learning. He's like an intern. And then I just got another level design artist to sign on and work with us. So maybe that'll work. He hasn't actually done any work for the project yet, but maybe that'll help out. And so once he gets on the project, we'll have a lot more, working for us and helping us out with that. That's the Bandit City. I gotta design that out. So that's kind of the team right now. There's things that need to be done and added and grouped together, but basically, I don't know how far back you were when you were here, but that was all of the Souls-like stuff. Now, I wanted this game to be Souls-like plus, as crazy as that sounds, I wanted it to be Souls-like plus Breath of the Wild. And so to do that, we need dungeons, and those dungeons need to be complex. This was for Epic Game Jam, yeah. Oh, you saw it in the Game Jam day. Okay, this is totally different game then. Yeah, totally different game. So, you know, you have the ability for your breaking your pots. That's your Zelda, you know, your nod to Zelda. Pots and other things will break. And that's how you find random gold and, you know, random pots and things like that. Thanks. Yeah, sound design is important. And then there's ways to get through the dungeon. So I'm blocked here. I have no ability to go forward. I have no ability to go forward there. I don't really have the ability to do anything. So we're not going to hold their hands at all. No, the sounds come from our sound engineer. We have a guy, so we have another person on the team. He's our sound engineer. He works for Obsidian and a couple other major companies. And so he has a bunch of sound repositories. Where he gets them from, I have no clue, but they either came from that one or I created the sounds myself and then put them in. Kind of a combo of two. So as you get in here, we're not going to hold their hands. They have to kind of figure out how the puzzles work. And so, you know, by looking around and doing things. No, I use Audacity, or yeah, Audacity. It's whatever the Adobe product is. So you'll kind of read it and you'll see it says, hey, do something right here, place flame in the holder. So you're like, oh, okay. And then you read this and it says make flame follow you. And so by, you know, process of just kind of elimination, you might play with it and then you realize, oh, the door opens. Nice. So now I'm here. And the way this is the dungeon teaches you how to play the dungeon without teaching you how to play the dungeon. Yeah, we've done a lot of good stuff. So now I did the same thing I did down here. I filled in all the lights, but it doesn't work. And so you're like, wait a minute, what? This is the second part of the puzzle, and I need to make this last part. I want the doors to have lights that activate based off of what you're doing. So that way you know, okay, I can look here and see that these lights aren't all lit up. And so that'll tell you, oh, I got to turn this off. And when you turn that off, then it unlocks the door. So you're like, oh, nice. Okay, cool. We also have the only thing that hasn't been done that I think I'm probably gonna have Kindred focus on is the backpack. And so the only way that you can progress in this game is actually the backpack. So as I fight monsters and as I fight creatures and as I do things, um, basically I will collect a resource that I can spend on the backpack to make the backpack better, because this is future whatever. And so I want the backpack to kind of be fused to his back. There's going to be little nodes on the back of the character, and that's basically for the backpack to integrate and do things with you. And so the idea is that I can actually press T, and T will spawn a drone that gives me light out of my backpack. And then I can also tell this drone to go places by middle clicking. I'll middle click and then the drone will go to different locations, maybe light up something in an area, or it can do an alert and get enemies to kind of follow it a little bit, so that way I can make a way. And that's kind of the idea there. And then what runs all of this dungeon stuff is these logic gates. And so you won't see these in the final version, but they are built in the developer version. So these logic gates actually go through and they do things like turning out like opening doors and closing doors, activating the machinery. Those are drop pods, and then this activates a conveyor belt that'll come across. This is Aether that's going to be mined, and all that Aether is actually, those are supposed to represent like mine systems that are kind of like drilling, and then it's being sucked into those tubes, and we'll have particles that kind of show off all of that. You ever play Outward? That's a great Souls-like with a cool backpack mechanics. I haven't played Outward, so I'll have to check it out. But again, your whole job during this process is to go through and kind of unlock the puzzles and everything else. And then you'll see as you're going through, you'll see that you're kind of turning on things in the facility, and you're like, oh yay, great, I'm turning on the facility. And then we have other puzzles like that, just, you know, those launched particles that lit the fire. You're like, oh crap, what just happened? And now you're stuck in this room, you can't leave, and hostiles are now spawning in. So this is a kill room where basically you have to kill a certain number of mobs before the doors open. You know, following basically all the same logic that you would see in a Zelda game. Yeah, exactly. Red alert. I miss red alert. And so this, as you kill the mobs, and now you've killed all the mobs, then the doors will unlock. And this is really what you're trying to get to. Once you hit this, there's going to be a particle effect that flies up and then goes that way, showing you that something happened. And so what you'll do is you'll come back in here, all the doors are unlocked again. You're like, oh, cool, I can go places now. And then this puts you right back where you started. You're like, oh, okay, well, that was nice and easy. So that's a common Souls-like thing, right? Now, here's where we're gonna teach the players, the next lesson. The next lesson, and all of this is to teach you how to fight the boss. And you'll notice that this is lit up and this is not, meaning that I finished that room. That's that light that's gonna kind of beam through and show off that, hey, this is lit now. It's working. I need to go and light this other one. Okay, well, maybe if I go to the other wing and do whatever I need to do there, then that'll happen. So you come inside here and, oh, you die because you weren't thinking about the traps. Now, most people will see those traps and they won't get stuck by it. But, if you're not paying attention, maybe you do get killed by it. Either way, all your gold and all your items are there, and you have to kind of use your previous knowledge to remind you, hey, I can turn off traps by going in here and pressing these, things. And so by doing that, you've opened up doors, right, Miss? You think the boss flames for unlocking should have a different color? Yeah, so it is going to be. I'm definitely visually going to change a lot of stuff. It's just right there right now because that was the flame effect that I had. So this wing of the dungeon is primarily focused on traps because that's teaching you how traps work. And what you don't know is you actually, by stepping over this platform, you can't go forward without stepping over that platform, and it'll be big. But right now, I just have it right here. So basically, by having that and that happen, that's my and, which then unlocks the door. So if I didn't step over that platform for whatever reason, then the door wouldn't work. So that's just, again, it's just showing off logic. Now, these pots and pans, players might want to get risky and do something where they can get those, whatever's inside that. But if they're stupid, they're going to get hit, and then they're going to get sliced. Right? So it's important that through this pathway, you have to really utilize that. And that's correct, Stormy. I did it on purpose. You're going to have save spots throughout the entire place. You will die to wherever the last place you saved is. So it's important for you to always use the save spots if you want to. Some people may not, and they may not have that purpose. And then you got past that. Okay, well, let's increase the difficulty. So now the difficulty is I've got 2 of them, and I always mess this one up. Okay, I made it. Yay! So we accomplished that, and now we're going to start the next puzzle. Now this puzzle is broken because of logic. I don't know why, but it is. But basically this shows you your next challenge, which is if you stand inside of that area where those things are happening, then you get damaged. And what these are supposed to represent is these are pylons that are coming up and they're pushing out hostile gas. And so basically you're supposed to avoid them, you're supposed to time it, and then as you step over, you're turning them off, but you don't know that until you've already done it. That door actually will be shut, and so you have to basically do a full run through the room. The reason why is that's teaching you something you're going to have to do for the boss. And then this part is not really designed out finally. Yeah, we have a really good composer. So I press this would again fly up, light up, and go inside there. So now you're like, okay, I've finished everything. And then you have to get through the last part. And the last part is basically a timed run where basically you find your way here. If you tried to run through, you would probably die. If you had enough HP, like you had super epic armor, maybe not, but most of the times you're probably going to die. So this is a timing one. You run through, you got to time it, otherwise you're going to get hit, and then you got to jump across. A lot of people forget to jump across, which puts you in the pit, and then you're dead. You can turn that whole trap system off, so now if you go through there again, you don't have to deal with that. If you don't turn that off, it just stays on, and that's your choice. You can turn it off or you cannot turn it off. It's up to you. Either way, this brings us back to our front portion where we were before, and now we have the ability to fight the boss. I only have 5 potions. That's gonna be a hard boss fight, but hey, let's try it, right? So now that I've finished this, we'll come into the boss fight, which is opening here. The boss is on his little tiny stuff. The gates close behind me, and now it's spawning in the skeletons. And so as it spawns in the skeletons, we have to defeat them. They're in cryo chambers. It doesn't look like cryo chambers right now, but basically they're in cryo chambers, and that's what's breaking, is the cryo chambers are falling. Okay, now I've finished this phase, and he's gonna go into, after I kill these 4, he'll go into the next phase, which is phase 2. These skeletons are super easy. Phase 2, he'll stand up, and then he's going to spawn a hostile, and then he's going to fire those beams at me. That's the stun. And so I basically have to avoid all of his attacks. Oh, and that's the one that kills me always. And that's basically his pattern, right? So he'll do 2 attacks. I don't know why he's not facing me. He should be facing me, so I have to fix that logic. That's a new thing. Avoid that stun. He does 2 attacks. He does, and then he does his little spin. He's gonna do his spin right here. And so I have to avoid the spin, and I have to stay at a certain distance. If I get too close, then he'll easily just kill me. There's too many skeletons right now. This is a balancing issue. Mester went crazy with the skeletons. Okay, I got him to the next phase. So right now, he's gonna go heal himself, and I have to get out of this zone or I die instantly, right? So the boss is also killing mobs. Yes, that is one of the things that we want to do. Friendly fire is 100% on. So if you're smart and you utilize the friendly fire, you can actually use the boss to kill the creatures. That's one of my favorite things to do. So you can use the boss to do that, 100%. So now this is the last phase. I'm basically fighting him solo. In this sense, I'm just basically attacking. Oh, and I'm dead. Crap. Because you forget the phase. Oh man. Ooh. That skill is the one I gotta change. Okay, I don't know why he should be focused on me, so I have to check that. That's a new bug. Oh, I need to move. Okay. Jesus. That was bad. I might be able to beat him. Gotta stay out of that zone. I need to get my stamina up, so I'm just gonna let him do his thing. Okay, and then he's gonna do his skill. Yep, okay. You gotta create a circle. There you go. No. I'm not able to reach out right now. I apologize, because I'm actually focusing hardcore right now. Okay, he's gonna do his little spin. And if you cut in too close, you just get killed. And we got him. Woo! And so what you can see is we actually have different quality of items here. You'll see there's 2 new types of items that spawned, and these are the yellow. And these yellow items are actually they're ultra rare, meaning that they don't go away, they don't die. They're always there. And so that's a very important factor. These items are, they're more like for visuals. They're early game, they're super powerful, but late game, not so much. You can also attack the attacks from the boss. The problem with blocking is this boss is specifically designed to make you use movement. So if you sat there and you blocked everything, you could, but you're never going to get any hits off of it, because as you block him, you're not really staggering him at all. So yes, you can 100% block his hits, but you're not really staggering him, and so that's an important thing to keep in mind. So we grab the different armors, and so now that's the other part that's cool about our game is, again, whatever they are equipped with, they drop. Always. You always will have whatever they are equipped with, they drop. So you can see that my armor looks exactly the way that his armor looked. There's no difference in it. There's no change. It is exactly the same armor that he had. It just fits me perfectly somehow through magic, right? And so as I finish, this would basically finish off the level. And then now I have a new quest, which is sign up for a championship match and win the championship match. So I need to leave this dungeon. This is basically the demo, and it's designed for 30 minutes of play. We've been about 30 minutes. You can see the sunset happening now. That our timeline is about 30 minutes for sunset. So you can see we're at the 30-minute mark. I'm not going to force you in watching me run through the forest because that would be silly. But we are going to come over here real quick. Fly. Okay. Save, and then I'm gonna go back inside the town. And so this is the whole point of the demo, is you want to gain ownership of this ludus, and by gaining ownership you get some perks. You'll get some cooking bonuses, stuff. You don't actually cook. You get a bath. I don't know what that's gonna do at this point in time. Who knows? You'll get access to a bed, so this lets you to sleep through the night or change it to day or nighttime at your will. So you can say, hey, I want this to be, sleepy time, or maybe you don't want it to be sleepy time. And then you'll have access to other structures inside of it that will, maybe this is where you store your armor, this is where your weapons are stored. There's a lot of different things that the villas can do. And then each villa will have a trainer that you can talk to and set up that event for the champion. This is the champion's room. And so basically I have to kill the champion to gain ownership of this ludus. And there's going to be 9 luduses around the entire island. So for example, the next ludus after this ludus will be over here. And so this is the market city, and it's gonna have a little arena right there. And then this is the ludus that's gonna be an oceanside ludus that you gotta kind of like get up to. And then you'll have access to the oceanside ludus. And so this will be where you stay. This is your ludus, and you can kind of see everything that's going on once you defeat this guy who owns this ludus, right? And so that's kind of the whole purpose of the game, is you defeat all the ludus owners. And once you defeat all the ludus owners, then you can actually fight in the main arena, which is this is where the crowd will sit and everything else. And this is the main arena. That's where the big people sit. This is the place where all of the arena people spawn. And you'll come outside of this arena, and then the arena will be there. And this is the big arena where all the fighting happens. So very important to think about. And then each town, each villa, each city has its own like NPCs and its own people and its own little quests. Like that's where you get the quest from the mad scientist. The quest from the mad scientist is actually here to get the backpack. So you got to go talk to the mad scientist and be like, hey man, I got to do this. And he's the one who tells you about the backpack. If you don't ever interact with him, then you'll never get the backpack. And so then you'll actually have a hampered gameplay based off of that. So that's kind of where we want to go. And then this is nighttime. You can see it's kind of dark, and it's that way on purpose. Let me fly up and get my drone. My drone is a little stupid right now. He needs help. Okay, so then when you're ready, you hit the championship match. You hit start, and then you fight the champion. And so our champion is named Brutus, and he's ready to fight. And Brutus is, as you can see, a lot taller than I am. And he also does a lot more damage than I do. And I have no health potions. So the likelihood that I'm going to be able to kill Brutus is very minimal. But if I am smart with my parries, I might be able to do it. Perfect parries are the way to win. They are, as they are with every game. This is a two-handed sword, and so it's much slower. But it also does a lot more damage. So I can actually reduce his health a lot by doing perfect parries. And if I mess up, then I'm gonna die. There we go. So I basically get 2 hits in each time if I perfect parry properly, and then I can I might get a 3rd in if I can bounce out. Come on. There we go. Well, I was looking for perfect parry there. And you can notice if I don't get perfect parries, I'm losing stamina a lot because he's doing massive amounts of hits. And so that takes away stamina. Oh, we got perfect parry. Okay, thank God. I thought I was gonna die there. I got if you don't get perfect parries, you're done goes. Now you could actually beat him without perfect parries. You just have to have really good gear. And so that's kind of where you would explore the world and look for better gear. Otherwise, when you defeated him, now I'm basically the champion of this villa, and I have defeated the demo of the game. And this is where the game will be like, oh, you've done an amazing job. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the game, and hopefully you can buy it. Like a little pop-up will show up. And then they hit OK, and then they can continue playing the game. We have a bunch of, since you can put emissions on eyes, what do you think about some levels without the drone? Correct. Yeah, that is 100% a thing. You don't, like, there will be areas where the drone does not work. And so you will have to go in there without the drone. It is pretty dark, especially when there's clouds in the sky and it's overcast, or if it's raining. If it's raining, it gets even worse. We do have dynamic weather because thanks to UDS plugin, so we do have dynamic weather and all that. I have to stylize it obviously and make it work specifically for my game because not all the particle effects always look great. So we'll stylize it a little bit, but that's basically what we're looking for. Where I was going with this is that the real world, the open world, has quests that aren't part of the quest. So if the player explores, they can actually go through and see much more of the world. So for example, we'll have caves and dungeons and like that stuff that, you know, isn't exactly there. Exactly the moment to, let's say, kill the drone and then she goes to your backpack, something like that. Yeah, exactly, right? So like there'll be like areas like this that the drone won't be allowed in. They'll be lit enough to where you can see, but they won't be flawless. That helmet's better than mine. Nothing else is good. And so you'll go through these like little mines, and you'll have to like kind of traverse. And this is a whole quest on itself. Now, nothing that they're wearing is better than what I had, but I'm just showing it off to show it off. So that way you can see, and you can see the different stuff. Yes, I did cut him in half. You are correct. That is a fun factor of this game. The dismemberment process is a fun factor of this game. What's going on, Zane? How are you, man? It's been a long time. Goblin children. They're not children, okay? This is the jump quest of the game. That'll be like a little pit dungeon, whatever else. There'll probably be a monster down there that I think that I have. But the point is that it's supposed to go there. So if you fall down, you got to go deal with it. I don't want to waste my time on that right now. So, miss you too, buddy. Hopefully all is well and you're enjoying life. And so here there'll be like an engine that goes to the machine. You fall down here, and that's gonna cause goblins to spawn out of this tube. They'll spawn out of this tube, and then they'll get up, and then they're gonna try to chase you. You can fight them, or you can fight them and slice them. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Oh, he blocked it. That bastard. No. Okay, he's running. He's running to get health. Okay, I didn't time it right. I tried timing it, sorry. Okay, let's see if I can time this one right. He's gonna block it. No, don't block it. He didn't block it. I almost killed him too. Oh, he's attacking. He's dead. We have slow-mo. That's what I'm showing off. We have slow-mo. This is probably too slow. It's actually a lot faster. But we do have slow-mo. That's to help out for like things like that where you cut people's bodies apart, and then you got blood. And let's say you want to catch a picture of that, so you go into photo mode, so you can catch a picture of that and then save that and share it with your friends and be like, look at this moment that I slayed this child goblin with blood guts all over the place. And so then you'll be able to take the pictures and show it off because he's missing in his arm, and you're over here doing your thing. Then you press 3 and press that. Now all my gear is on the bottom. I can choose what I want to have if I want to have any of it. I don't like any of it, but I'm going to switch out so I'm full goblin armor. He says, by the way, since Photoshop removed bump and normal, I don't know why, to be honest. Where do you usually build those? You have your own texture? Wait, what? What do you mean? I don't use normal maps. There's no normal maps on any of my models. And so that's basically the rundown. You guys got the full rundown. That was a good 40-minute rundown. So you can see that we have a lot of content. Obviously, I was going slower than normal, but there is a lot of content. Okay, let's go back to this level. Yeah, I don't use bump maps, and I don't use normal maps. Everything in this game will be hand painted, and it will be like a hand painted with models using the actual shading. Because of the way that Niagara not Niagara, but what's that called again? Nanite. The way that Nanite works, I don't have to really worry about my models because they're already low poly anyways. Nope. Yep. I'm just gonna paint them. And again, I'll use actual. The mesh will actually have the divots that it needs to have. Everything that I make is low poly anyways, and with Nanite, I just turn on Nanite and it basically saves all those polys anyways. So there's no reason not to. And so I get away with having really cool hand-painted looking textures while also, not being forced to deal with some of those problems. Okay, so back to our flower. We were supposed to be making a flower this stream. I like explaining the game though, especially to new people. So that's good. Yeah, a good. Let me show you an example of this, right? So if I come here to meshes, kit bash, villa, right? Here's a perfectly good example. This could be a texture, and a lot of people would do this with a texture, and that honestly that might be what I do in the long run too. But right now this is not a texture. This is a fully fleshed out 100%. If I go to wireframe, it has all the wires and everything else. And so that's, somebody might argue that's a lot of wasted faces, and I would argue that yes, it probably is a lot of wasted faces. But because of the way that Nanite works, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have any major resource hit on what I've got going on. So I can get away with it right now. Now, obviously, when I go through my optimization phase and trying to make things a lot cleaner and organized, I probably would reduce some of these and then probably look at doing something like tessellation or bump mapping. See you later, Stormy. Thank you for being here. Have a fun time at work. And so I might have that there. But I mean, and our grass is the same thing, right? We're not using an alpha card for our grass. Our grass is actually modeled and shaped like the grass should. And our foliage is modeled and shaped exactly like it should be modeled and shaped. And it's two-sided. It's not a card, right? And a lot of people will use cards. With this, we get a benefit of not having overdraw. None of our stuff has overdraws because we don't have any alphas. And so that's just kind of how I make my models and stuff. And that's the premise behind what we're doing. That divot in there, right? That's an actual model divot. And if I wanted to have a crack in there, I would actually make the crack. And that's kind of how I think we're gonna stick to it. Then I get to have hand painted looking textures like we have here, and it still looks good. And if I put in a vertex map, I'll put in a vertex map that has some hand painted, and then basically it's all putting a roughness map that actually aligns very well with what it looks like. And then with a roughness map, that's really what sells, that detail. I don't have any divots or anything else in there, but the rock doesn't, it doesn't look not like a rock. rock, and it's not like bad. Now, could it be better with that? I think so, but at the same time, normal maps are what I think makes things look plastic. It really gives it that plastic look. So you have to be very careful with it. So we might do some normal maps on like bigger things like this, like a rock that needs those divots and those indents and things like that. And we might be able to do it on the terrain to get away with making, especially now that they have tessellation back for the landscape material. We might do it so that way I can get some divots inside of the terrain a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's really cool for things like snow. That's where tessellation really would help. By putting on my snow, what's going on, Borg? By putting snow, I could actually have snow pile up, and kind of like not just be a texture here. I could actually have it pile up and look all fluffy by using texture, or not textures, but tessellation. And in that sense, I would probably need a normal map to properly say, hey, boost up in this direction. But again, we're not there. I think so. In some areas, I definitely think that in some areas a hard rock is, or a hard edge is definitely needed. It just depends. It really just depends. Okay, back to our flower. So, I spent time making these look all good, but the problem that I forgot is especially when you're doing this process, we need to UV map these, and I didn't UV map them. Because I didn't UV map them, I'm basically wasting my time.
Sure, I need to UV map these.
Because UV mapping it after the fact would be atrocious. So if I just UV map the petal now, then I'm good to go. So we're going to send this off to the desktop, and we're just going to call this flower petal 00. We're going to open up 3D Coat. Oh man, you guys are getting white screened. Sorry. We're gonna. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Not what I chose. I chose UV map a mesh. And so then we're gonna go to the desktop. We're gonna grab the flower petal that I just created. UV map, it doesn't need to be massive for this. Again, we're just trying to create something so that way we have something. And these, it's not gonna be a high resolution texture, so I'd say 256 by 256. It's basically just warning me, saying I have some stuff that not changed. Where is this at? Oh. What's going on? I don't see it. You don't see it, right? Like, is it all models that I don't see? Oh no, that one loaded. Okay. That's not, this was for something else. That's not the model. That's something I made for an NFT. Don't save. So I know that it's working. And the model's there. Like, it's there. I can see it, but I can't see it. Oh, that's right, because I have ignore back facing on. I don't treat it as a two-sided. Because I don't treat it as a two-sided, it disappears when you're looking at it from the other side. Okay. Well, that lesson learned. Okay, problem solved. All right. Raptor Jesus. let's switch up music a little bit. We've been listening to this one for a while. We got like the whole stream is on this track, so let's switch up a little bit. We're gonna go to Groovy. Hopefully I don't get hit. I think Groovy should be fine, but I don't know. We'll see. So we already unwrapped it. It's good to go. We're just gonna hit apply the UV set. It's gonna say, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I'm gonna say yes. Hit OK, and I don't really care past here. We're good. Now, what I can do, because I'm already here, is I could probably go in here and create my gradient that I need to create for my mask. I don't really care about it, to be honest, but I'm here, so I might as well. This is basically the way that I have my plants and everything else set up. I use this mask system to basically create all of the cool effects that we have for our game. And I can show you this with the grass. So you can see, obviously the grass is a little chaotic right now, but it basically highlights itself down from the bottom to the top. And then it's got a different color from the bottom to the top. And that's because I'm using a gradient mask to do that. And then I'm also using the gradient mask to tell the program how much this should be able to affect it. So if we come in and you look at it, the base of the grass is barely moving, while the top of the grass is flowing pretty easily and having no problems. And that's because of the mask that I've created. That's also what helps the bend work. Basically, it says, hey, fall over in this area because of that mask and how I've set this up. It's also part of vertex painting from the plugin. But that's the important part about this plugin is I need to, or not plugin, but the masking system is that's how I colorize everything, so that way it matches and I have full control over what it looks like. That goes for every single thing that is a tree or whatever else. You'll notice that the tree here has basically the sun affects it and changes the colorization of it based off of the edge. Not all of them colorize in the same way, so this is green and this one's orange. Some of them have a little bit of a blue colorization, and so that gives the effect of ripeness, right? The orange is a more dried out leaf and a more dried out tree, and then the greener is your more fresh, and then the blue is your kind of like your new sapling or whatever else that's kind of brand new. So this is like a newer tree that's fresh. This is a little bit older, and this is like your oldest version of a tree, like super old, grandpa old. And so that's an important factor for thinking about when we're talking about these masks and how we're making these masks. Black basically means nothing happens to it, it's chill. And then white means it's fully moved and shifts. For this specific pedal, I don't want the black to be where it's at right now. I want it to go up a little bit more. And so that way I have more control of keeping this solid where it's going to be. Let's export our model. Desktop, and then we're going to choose the flower petal. Yep. We've exported the flower petal. And we're going to go back over to Maya. Bring up YouTube just in case anybody chats on YouTube and I miss it. Because caster being silly. Desktop. And then let's go to flower petal. Where are you at? Yep. Change that orientation. Hey. Oh wait, this is, no, that's the wrong one. That's why. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, it shouldn't have changed the orientation. They fixed that bug when I reported it. So we gotta get rid of that. And then we're gonna grab the standard and do that. Okay, so this is our base flower petal. Oh, it did modify that though. Let's go there and then there. There we go. Cool. So now it's been finalized out, and then we can do some cool stuff. I'm gonna try and see. It's been a while since I've used Mash, but we're gonna try Mash and see if I can get it to work. That's what I like about this process. So if we wanted this to only be a leaf, okay, we want this to be something more than a leaf. This is a flower petal, but I do want to say, hey, let's say, what if this was more than that? We wanted a leaf, because we can do that same thing. It's not hard. I basically just duplicate this, and then this is now a leaf, and then I shape this to be a leaf and make sure that my stuff is all right, and then we have a leaf, right? But one of the things that you were talking about earlier is, well, I just use Vine. There's a very similar thing here in Maya. It's called Mash. And so basically I can create a Mash system. And then it's been a while since I've used it, so we're working together on this, okay? I do a Mash system. I think I do... Damn, it's been forever. Let me open a different one real quick. Sorry, but can you do something with volume on micro? I just compared with a few other streamers, and the difference is huge, like 50% it to low. What are you talking about, micro? My microphone? I'm too loud or too quiet? I'm too quiet. I can check. So if I go much higher, then I'm gonna basically be allowing myself to cap out. This is a little bit of a tweak. I am at -9 dB. Normally you're supposed to be at -15. This is a headset mic because I don't have my boom and I don't have my Yeti or anything else, so it's not perfect sound, but this is where we're at here. I can lower the music if you're thinking that that's probably what's getting drowned out, and I apologize. But when I checked it on YouTube yesterday, it sounded pretty good. I could be wrong. I don't know. I did make the change. I switched the dB up a little bit. Hopefully that's better for you, Borg. I'm using speakers from monitor, so maybe in the headphones it's better, but I didn't have such a problem with other streams. Yeah, no, it's probably because, like I said, I am muting myself down 9 dB, specifically because I don't want anything in the yellow range. Music is at -16 dB, so that's a little bit loud, but you know, we can go down to -17. But we should be good from there. If I go any louder, I'm yelling. Like legitimately. I'll be in the yellow, and that's not, you don't want to be in the yellow when you're in dBs, because then you're basically getting distortion. So hopefully this works for you. I'm sorry if not. Okay, where were we? They are good headphones, but the microphone's not good. So if I had my Blue Yeti, I would have that here, and I would know exactly with the sound and everything else coming in. This microphone, the for the headset, when it comes in very bad. The higher dB you go, and so that's not, I can't do that. It's very bad. because it's gonna get washed out, and then I'm gonna sound like I've got the microphone in my mouth like blah 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 blah, and nobody wants that sound. That's like maybe for a video game it's kind of cool. I actually hate that sound now that I bring this up because when I was playing Space Marines 2, all the voices are washed out, and I'm like, what? I can barely understand what they're saying. Like it's realistic maybe because that's what the comms would sound like, but it's so washed out. I haven't tried NVIDIA Broadcast. I don't know what it is. What was I doing? Maya Archive. Yep, that's right. I need to go to Maya Archive, and then Mega Jam, and then let me try Foliage 1. I'm gonna save this one, and then I should have. This is where I have all my stuff at. But I guess I didn't save the mesh. Oh, it's a distributor. Yeah, so why it's there? Where's the properties for it? It's like middleware with filters and other AI. Well, so I am using SS. I am using SteelSeries. What's that one called? SteelSeries GG for my middleware, and that is filtering and cleaning up some of the sound. But again, garbage in is garbage out. So if I'm over sampling and putting in. By the way, install new beta version of NVIDIA also, but only on web. Wait, what? Why am I installing the new beta version of NVIDIA? Y'all be crazy. Is it placer? Random. Maybe it's random. Oh, right. Oh, it's right here. I'm over here being stupid. Okay, now I know where it's at. Here we go. So what we can do is I can actually grab this, and we go to mesh distribution. And then on mesh distribution, I have the ability to set up a couple of different things of where it distributes and who it distributes to and all this. So this is kind of the fun stuff, right? And so is it random? There's a new release from NVIDIA. What's it? So NVIDIA made a thing called Beta App. That's its name. NVIDIA Beta App. Test drive the new NVIDIA App Beta. What does it even do? Unified GPU controller. New driver updating system. Redesign in-game overlay. New AI freestyle filters. Interesting. I was not aware of this. Okay. It's called NVIDIA App Beta. Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I haven't tested it at all. Okay, so do I delete? And I can't delete distribution. How do I do this? That's my strength. Advanced, extra attributes. I thought there was a thing for adding the damn thing. Do I have to click this? I think I have to click this. Okay. It's been forever, man. Okay. So I'm gonna do random. I do want random. Like that's a thing. But I need the distribution thing first. Maybe I have to change the distribution to mesh. Oh, that's right. Okay, see, it's been forever since I've done this, so I couldn't remember. Okay, so I do input mesh. Where is it at? So I grab here. Oh, crap. I forgot how to do this. So let's say it's This one right here, cylinder, is my input. What the F, bro? Okay, let's get rid of random. I don't want random yet. Okay, now we're gonna grab this, which is here. I'm gonna click this again, and I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna put my input mesh. And then I'm gonna grab the pedal and do that. No, that does not work. Damn it. It's been forever since I've done this. Okay, so mesh, I want scatter. Why am I saying accept object set? So I don't want a selection set. Maybe, maybe, no. Facing, that's one of the ones. Voxel container, strengths, extra attributes. Nope, none of those are it. Where was it? I can't remember. Why can't I put that one in there? This says incompatible node types, mesh and object set. Well, I don't have an object set for this. F. Why can't I remember this? Okay, time to Google. It'll take me 4 seconds, but I do have to Google it. I apologize. Okay, so my 2025 MASH distribution mesh. Let's see what it says. Okay, so he clicks on the setting the object, setting up the scene. I don't care about the scene. Setting up the MASH network. That's what I want. Okay, so he hits on MASH, right? So he's got the object 30 enabled, bro. Come on. So come on. Click on MASH. Thank you. Create a MASH network. Okay, so he created the MASH network. Yay! And then he chooses apply. So now it has a MASH network. Wait, where? What? So he goes to MASH. Come on. I don't care about the distributing the MASH network. Okay. So he goes to distribute, input mesh, and section select, right? So he's going to drag the plane, which is the terrain, into what? It's actually really annoying. He's having the same problem I am. Yeah, that's fine. How do you do it? Come on, man. He drags it over to the input mesh. Okay, so that's the mesh that I want it to go to. Yep, that's exactly what I thought. Wait, how did he... Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna click this, and I'm gonna do new. Why can't I do new? It's there. Okay, now I'm gonna click new. Maybe I have to click distribution. Man, I shouldn't have done this right now. Please select a mesh waiter. No, I want to make a mesh network with this thing. Okay, there we go. Woo! Okay, I got it. We got it. Okay, cool. So then I click on the distribute. I change it to mesh. And then I take this and I drag and drop this into the input mesh. Tam. Okay, there we go. So now, basically, I'm distributing this along this vine. And I can say scatter. I can change the faces. I can change voxel strengths. I can also change a bunch of other things to this. So if I change it to vertex. I think it goes only to the vertex that I send it to. If I change it to face center, it basically chooses the center of a face, and then it spawns one on each face center. Kind of a cool little pinwheel, right? But you can see it's going to each one of the faces that are there. And I think I can actually say push along a normal and then not, and then I can have the number of meshes be more. So I can basically spawn a crap ton along every single face. So every single face will have one. And then I can do flood mesh, which will basically put all of them there. I can turn off calculate rotation. And by turning off calculate rotation, I can actually control that rotation. And so I can say, hey, I want them to be, you know, facing a specific direction or whatever else. And so right now you can see I'm spawning a crap ton of them because it's per face, right? And so then we add in a node called randomizer. If I can read. And then randomizer lets me change the positions. I can change the positions in this direction. I can change the positions and offset them here. I can rotate them and make them random. So I can say, hey, I want them all to be random in rotation of this direction. I can rotate them randomly in Y. And then I can also rotate them in Z if I wanted to. And so now I have some randomized stuff. I can actually change the scale. So normally I would do all scales being simultaneously similar, but you can have the scale be different, and that changes. And then I can have a random seed and go through my seeds and have, you know, that all randomized. And then I can actually change the strength. So let's say I don't like this too much. I can actually change the strength. And then I can change random strength, so that way I have to, and then I have step sizes, so it can kind of go through. So I'm saying all this because we can randomize leaves just like you would in any other program using the MASH system and the MASH node network. And then we can even get kind of cool because they have different things such as trails. They have different options such as like dynamics, so I can have fluid dynamics and other things like that. Orientation is another one that's interesting, so I can actually change the mesh orientation. So I can have it aimed to a specific target. Up vector is actually Z, so I can have it, you know, modify based off of my Z's if I want them to go out. And then based off of this, I can have them kind of change that direction. So they're getting a more realistic look for them. And again, you can always use strength, so that way they get redone there. And then I come back to my randoms. Now using my randoms, you can see that my alignment vector is not as good in my randoms because now I'm getting problems with that, right? And so that's a really important one to understand, like order of operations, because then that changes things out a little bit. And then changing your so we can do orient to mesh. I think that's one. And then, or orient to velocity. Oh, we're not using velocity, never mind. And then I can have targets and then velocity. So there's a lot of different options. And then I can have a target. And so I can put the target there, and then they'll all aim at that direction of the target. If I do orient to mesh, I have to choose a mesh to basically pipe in there. And we already know that we have a mesh here. Right, so I click orient and I grab and drop and say orient to mesh. And now, as you can see, we have very flowery looking process. Isn't that cool? And then you can go to random and you can change some stuff out from there by saying, hey, I can do the X and the Y, or I can rotate my randomize Z, change the scales out, and do all that stuff. And then I can even have position offsets. And basically create that. And so this is why I like this MASH plugin, because it actually gives you a lot of options. We can reduce the number of points, so that way we're not, you know, doing whatever. That's face center. Scatter is probably the best option for this, because then it doesn't put them on top of each other. Sometimes it does, but you can actually increase the points a lot. And then I can change up to vector, and I can change the up vector, so that changes some things about how this mesh interacts. If I change the up vector, right now it's 0, 0, 1. So basically I can say use this up vector or not. And then I can calculate rotations if required. And then I can use ignore ramps, and that tells it basically not to do anything either. So all of this said, when I get the flower done, this is how I'll add the flower in. I'll be able to change it, rotate it, randomize it, put it where I want, and then make some cool stuff. And what's awesome about this is this is non-destructive. So if we look at my branch here, and I increase the size of this, because I have changed this, now it automatically changes that because it's non-destructive. So it's using this as a reference. And so I can actually modify this out and create some really cool mesh stuff, basically just because of what I've set this up. So I absolutely love mesh systems. That's how I've done all my foliage before in the past, and it's how I do my foliage because I like this process. I know this exists in other programs. I have SpeedTree. I don't pay for the subscription right now. So I do have SpeedTree, and I have used it, and it's fun. PCG can do a lot of this stuff too now. Basically, you can say spawn on this, and you can set up all the code and everything else to do all the fun stuff too. So I do not want to delete that. I want to delete the mesh network. So we talked about a lot of that. Now back to making my flower. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this, or actually I'm gonna duplicate this, and then I'm gonna hide this, because now we're gonna make the flower. Right, because this isn't the actual leaf, this is the flower. Now we can make the leaf too, which we will do in a minute, but that is not what we're currently doing. We're gonna make the flower first. Oh. Pull this in just a little. So we're gonna have 2 on the outside. I'm probably gonna do 5, and then 2 on the inside. Okay. And what I need to do here is I basically just need to make it to where I don't have any of the overlaps, because that's what I'm having right now, right? So we're gonna basically move this around and try to shape it to where I don't have any of the overlaps. But to do that, I need to make sure that I'm properly kind of moving these things. Move it in. Wait. I'm probably fighting a lot with this because it's going to have different things, but that's kind of the point, is we want this to all be inside. And then I still want it to kind of keep its shape, so we're going to still try to focus on keeping the shape while making this stay inside. And then we do want to get it as close to the leaf as we possibly can, because that's an important factor as well. And so by doing that, we're going to create a nice structure. Growing weed in the cozy Gladiator game? Yes. we gonna be considered a cozy game? Oh my god, that'd be horrible, but probably. Right? Like, probably. I had to be honest with myself. Probably. Ugh. Push this out a little bit. Probably too far because it's giving me that intersection. Okay, and so that looks good. We need to fix this one. So this one I need to go object, I think. We're gonna pull this one down. And that looks okay. We'll probably need to bring up this edge and kind of taper it in a little bit. Yep. I do object. Cozy blood sport. Right? Yeah. It's gonna be cozy. Nothing I can do about it. We need to rotate this bad boy because this is definitely gonna cause me problems. There's only so much I can do. It's probably gonna be more similar to that one right there, if I'm being honest. So maybe I just copy that one. World. Yeah, there we go. Rotate it in. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then back to object. I can come over and then down. That worked. That worked. Okay. Cool. And then let's make this a little bit less. Make this one a little bit less. Yep. Okay. Like it. And then this last one right here, basically we need to just make sure that it doesn't have any of these problems that it currently has, right? Because it's got that leaf that's coming through it. So it's got to come over here. And then let's grab this leaf right here. And turn on that. Bring it in. Maybe over, in, over, that down, side, covering that, this down, and we want that to fill that without reaching that. How you doing, Turning? Okay, so that all looks good. Yep, I like it. I like it. This a little bit. Nice. That looks good. Okay, so no parts are intersecting one another. I would say that maybe there's some fluffiness that it's missing, right? So we can kind of work to fix that a little bit, but not honestly too much we can do about it unless I added more leaves to it. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to pull these in and just kind of taper. These intersecting anything? No, they're not. Okay, cool. So we have a nice flower-ish looking thing. Wait, I do have a problem. Grab this, pull this out, pull this down a little bit. So now it's not interceding, which is great. What we want. So now we have a good flower structure, right? And then on the inside, let's grab all of it. And if I grab it as a whole, can I grab it as a whole and kind of do that? That messes some things up if I do that. So never mind. Son of the biscuits. I didn't see that from before. Just have to cause me problems, huh? Okay, so that looks okay. Everything else looks good. It looks like a cabbage leaf. Yes, it does. And that's because it doesn't have any like center part yet. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Coming. But yes, it does currently look like a cabbage leaf. Right? It needs a center part. And I think it also needs maybe one or two down here that are bigger. No, can't go inside. I don't want to hit that inside. Let's shrink it a little bit and then make it come out a little bit. And then maybe like that. Ugh. No, that's definitely jacked up. Okay. Maybe rotate. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna be a pain. Maybe make it come out a little bit. Okay, it's gonna have to be modified. Let's reduce that down. Let's grab this. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. And we can pull that in. I'm just fighting Megascan modular buildings, so mildly irritated. It. Don't miss that. Okay. Right. Oh. Okay. So we have that kind of there, which is great. Looks fine. No issues. I like it. I'm happy with it. It means it's a budding plant thing, structure. Okay, so then let's edit, delete history, modify, freeze transformations, so that way everything works together. It does. Great, great. And maybe we make a smaller one. I really think I want a smaller one right here. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay. So now we need to make the bud. And then let's say this is probably, I don't need 10 for this. I'm probably go 8 and 8. Probably, honestly, that's probably too much, but whatever. Let's do 90. Let's focus, make it centered off. We're going to taper the top, so that way it's kind of flattened. It's too much. Down, that down. And then we're also going to taper the bottom. And then shrink the bottom. Yep, that's good. And we're going to pull it up in here. That way we can kind of see it, which is great. Perfect. Then we need to add the like little flower part. So that's our bud, and that's the flower. And it's misshapen a little bit. So when I combine it all together, I will probably do something like this, or maybe like kind of bring this in a little bit more to help even it out. Everybody likes cabbage. What's going on, Unreal? How are you? It's not cabbage though. The flower. Meanie. So when we combine it, we can then put it here and put it on the plant. And then we got ourselves our flower. Yay. That's good to hear. And then we can rotate and tweak it and everything else and make it look good. That'll basically be kind of how the flower works. And I like it. We can flatten it out too, so it's more whatever. Or we can elongate it, making it more, whatever. I think I like the elongated version, other than the fact that like a couple of things intercede on each other. But that's okay. Okay, so it is separated. Will it follow the sun? I doubt it. We're not doing that much fancy logic, so I'll say no. In my farming game that we were making, 100% yes, it would have been cool and it would have followed the sun and all that stuff. We did have that. We had growth and all that. But we're not making a farming game. It's a gladiator game, man. They don't need that much logic in there. Get out of here. It's about blood and guts. Okay, so we have the bulb. Let me do UV editor. I'm just going to edit and then create, and then I'm just going to automatic UV for that one because I don't care. That probably is not the best option, but for cheating and getting it done, that's what I'm doing, and that's how it's getting done. Okay, so now we've got the flower. The next part is to get the flower to do what I wanted it to do, and we were kind of talking about this already. We had the mashup thing. And that's basically what we're gonna kind of do again. Is we're gonna combine all of this together and make it a reference. I'm supposed to go see an apartment this Saturday and hopefully settle in 7 minutes away from my office. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Unreal. That'll be nice. I'm kind of hoping for a similar setup. Either I buy the house, and it's gonna be a probably a 30-minute drive into work, or I'm gonna get an apartment that's like a 5 to 10 minute walk away from work. I don't know though. The renting in America is ridiculous right now. It is so bad. It's not even funny. Like, it is so bad. Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's an important factor. So that comes there. There's a little bit of clipping. I can't have clipping on this section. And the reason why is this is actually going to be what they see. These are the way I want this plant to be is I want this to be a hanging plant. So yeah, renting can be super expensive. Yeah, so I want this to be a hanging plant. So basically, I want everything to look like this. And so I'm going to put this on each point and basically do this. And so I kind of want it to hang. And so that's going to be the part that they see. They're not really going to see the inside as much as they are the external. Because I want it to be a little bit of a hanging plant. But they will, the top one will be non-hangy. So it'll be like this. Or well, I think it should probably align better with this. So the top one will be something like that. And then the rest of them will be very hangy. And I kind of want them to be longer too. Maybe skinnier. But longer definitely for sure. And so I'm going to have to reverse. Oh, mesh display. Reverse them. Yeah, why didn't it reverse them? It didn't reverse all of them. It just reversed one of them. It's just reversing the one? What? Get out of here. That's crazy. Okay, well, I don't want to get too far down this chain because if I do, then I'm not going to be able to undo. And I need to undo all this because I was just basically putting it there and cheating real quick. So I need to uncombine them. Nope, I lied. There we go. There we go. They're separated out still. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, I do need to redo what I just did. So let's redo the move, redo the select. So let's save. So now we've got the plant kind of good where I want it. And it's looking the way that I want. I've got UV maps on this bad boy. We're going to do mesh display, set the face, and then we're going to do a soften. Another soften. We're going to delete all that. And then we're going to grab each one of these and we're going to reverse them. It's going to be two-sided, so it's not going to matter. But for shading purposes of what I'm trying to do, I need them to be reversed. What the? Oh, there we go. Because it wasn't set to face. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. Yep, so that's good. And basically that means the plant will look good from the exterior, which is what I want. So now I'm going to duplicate all of this. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to, where's my outliner? Control G, I call G and flower bud. And then I'm going to hide that so I don't mess with it. We're going to grab this and we're going to combine this bad boy. Delete this, and then we're actually going to call this ref base flower model. And then we're going to come grab right here. that there so that way it's at the center. Make sure it's at the center. Cool. So now as we rotate this and move this around, we'll have a nice flower that looks really good from the top, which is what we want right here. That is what we want right there. I like how that worked. I like how that worked. Yeah. Okay. So now we need to basically do what I was talking about before with the mesh stuff, right? So we're going to grab this. We're going to go to Mash. Let me make sure I save. We're going to click this so it creates a distribution node. Now we have a nice little distribution node and it's distributing them all over the place. We then need to grab our reference here. So we have it. We're going to click our distribution node and we're going to go Mesh. And then we're going to drag and drop this as the expected node. Why that is happening, I don't know. Does it have to be at 0, 0, 0? I didn't think so. But I guess I could be wrong. Oh yeah, it's definitely, there's something going on. Okay, okay. Oh, did I make it a, no, I didn't. Right there. Oh, it's got a translation. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is important. You always have to remember not to have it translated. Because if you move it and then you do the mesh thing, then it gets all jacked up. Okay, good to know. So now if I come back to distribute and I go to mesh, I click this bad boy and then I click that again. Here, drag and drop. Bam. Mother eh. Does it have to be at 0, 0? I didn't know that it had to be at 0, 0. That's news to me, so I guess we'll try. Let's hide this and try it again. Ugh. No. I forgot. I have to modify freeze transform. There we go. Okay, now we create the mesh network. Okay. Please. Dear baby Jesus, 6 pound. Mash it up. Exactly. 6 pound, 9 ounce baby Jesus. Let's go. Come on. Work. Bam. Okay, there we go. Ah, look at that. Look at that flower. Oh, it's so cool. He's so pretty. Oh, he's gonna be gorgeous. I'm excited. Okay, so now we get to choose our nodes. We're doing scatter. There's an option for push along. We don't really want to use push along. We can use up vector, and by using up vector, we're basically saying what the up vector is. Up vector is 1, so we need to do that. And basically this does what I already kind of told you I wanted it to do. By putting this here, I basically have set this all to what it needs to be. If I do -1, then we get an up view, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Tomato, tomato, it doesn't matter. But for making this faster for me, we're going to have everything point downward because, again, that's what I wanted for this plant. And then I can use face area. Face area basically means it only works on the faces, or I cannot use face area. It doesn't really matter specifically just yet. We have a couple of different options. Again, vertex puts it all down here at the bottom. Not necessarily what I want. Random vertex spawns it randomly on a random vertex, and it chooses the different vertexes to do that. We have some issues with random vertex. Face center obviously has a problem. And then random face center basically chooses a random face to center it on and do that. But again, we get duplication problems, and I have problems with how I want it to be and where I want it to be. So maybe not the best option, right? We have voxel. So voxel basically determines the entire shape and then spawns one all over. Not necessarily a good one. Edge is normally what I would do, but the problem that you run into edge is basically It doesn't find the proper edge. I don't know why. I've never been able to get it to find anything other than the bottom's edge. I have no clue why. So, flood mesh is normally what I would do. And basically this puts one on every single edge. And that's why I kind of like flood mesh. Random edge does no difference because I can't control basically anything. So I generally would stick with scatter and then do, but you don't get a flood when you do scatter. So you could do, let's do random face center. And if I do flood, I get flooded. Damn, dude. But my problem is I'm going to get a lot of duplicates. I don't want a lot of duplicates. I don't know. We'll have to play with it. Okay, let's play with it. I wish I could modify each individual. I can't modify the individuals. I wish I could. So let's do random. So random pushes it there. We don't want random in X or Y. We don't want that. But we can do random in Z. So this pushes it along the mesh, which is nice. Rotation is good, right? And that rotation is good. So this basically pushes it along there. Rotation in Z is along, so that's nice. I'm fine with that too. Yes, this gets turned into a static mesh after I'm done. Scale, basically I can scale. If I change absolute, then that changes a whole bunch of stuff. But we don't want to do that. We only want to mess with Z. That's the only scale I want to randomize, right? Random strength, so I can change the random strength. And then I can do steps for how many I want to have, right? And so we did make it a little bit longer. We made it a little bit more interesting. I don't know if I necessarily like this. I probably could place this better for myself. I thought it was gonna be better for me today, but it doesn't look like it is. It's good for leaves, maybe not necessarily for flower buds. I don't know everything there is to know about this program. So there's a bunch of different nodes that you can do and different ways you can control it. I don't like the way it's being distributed. I think that's my major problem. If I do scatter, that's better, right? But I still have things that are intersecting each other. Calculate rotation. We do want calculate rotation. Yeah. Well, maybe not, because I could use ignore. No, because it needs to be external to the thingy. Ignore ramps is, so ramps basically, if you change the rotation on the main one, yes, that actually changes everything. If I mess with the main one, that changes everything. So if I click on my flooded base thingy that's like hidden and I rotate it, that changes absolutely every single one of them. But I have to have a good setup to begin with first, you know what I mean? So if I turn calculate rotation off and then I basically modify this one, and then I add in the random, and then I put a random X, maybe not X, but nope, maybe Z. Random Z. That's kind of nice. And then a random rotation in the X. I don't like that I can only go positive. I can't go negative. I don't like that. I actually am annoyed by that. Yeah, honestly. Because 12 is too much, but okay, so that's 4, and I have one down there, which is absolutely pointless. But that's not bad. That's not bad. And then I could modify that out. But I could probably do this myself faster, to be honest. So it's just cool to play with. It's just cool to play with. But yeah, I can definitely, because of what we're doing, I could definitely do this faster myself. Which I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna play with it. But I just wanted to show off how cool it is. So let's finish this off because I do want to get this done today. We're just gonna go to each vert, and we're just gonna have one on each vert. We're gonna make this bigger, but it's gonna be smaller for the top bud because it's just budding. We are gonna go object, so it is object. So it's gonna be a little bit longer, like that. Yep. And then this will be longer as well, with it being smaller. Duplicate. Maybe leaves on some edges or just flowers. So the leaves are going to be down here. There's gonna be no, for here. There's gonna be no leaves. The leaves are gonna be down here on this one. So these are only gonna be leaves with maybe 1 or 2 flowers on them, because basically the leaf turns into the flower is basically how I want it to look. Yeah, we're just gonna hand place them. It's fine. Make it smaller. I'm gonna have to rotate some of them just to make. Don't let me forget to rotate them, so that way I have variance in these. That one can stay. So rotate this way. Needs to get out of the way of that flower right there. That. Okay. And then this should be more kind of like this, because it's towards the top. Go down a little bit. Rotate it a little bit smaller. Rotate it. Yeah. Okay, well, it's got to touch the stem. Maybe rotate it downward. Another one, maybe up more. Rotate it this way. It needs to fill this area because it's trying to get the sunlight. Ow, I don't want to go up. I want to go over. There you go. There you go. Okay. And then rotate him. So now you have a nice flower top and then it's going to go all the way down to here, and then it's going to stop there. Let's take a look at this and see what this looks like in game. We're going to go to meshes, foliage, and flower one. Nice. Yeah, that'll look good. By the way, usually once you start Unreal Engine, you go to sleep, you go eat, you go finish another things what you have. Like in SpongeBob, 5 years later opens, or no, mine is fast. My Unreal Engine is fast. So like I said, if I save all right now, I close it. So we just close Unreal Engine. And then I'm going to reopen Unreal Engine. Ooh, there's an update. What got updated? Hold on, let me see what plugin got updated. You would think with their new change, they would have a better thing of what got updated. Oh, it's an installed plugin. Oh, Twitch work. I don't care about Twitch works. Okay, so now, did Twitch works get updated? Should have been like 4 seconds. Okay, it updated. Cool. So now if I open it, you can watch it. It should pop up. Okay, so there you go. Should pop up. You should see it popping up. I don't get it, man. Are you going through Epic Games? Is that an issue? What do you mean? So this is like, it's loading. I'm at 45%, 75%. This is actually a little bit slower than normal. I'm over here talking all this crap, and now, yeah. No, this is slower than normal, but. This is way longer than normal. What did you just do to my dang system, bro? Well, I don't have compiling shaders. So if I compile shaders, then it takes a little bit longer than normal, but yeah, I don't have any compiling shaders right now. You're talking about the dancing grass. So the dancing grass is just the logic because it doesn't have anything going to it right now, Unreal. But when you play the game, it's not dancing. It's doing the wind thing. But it doesn't have real-time simulation in the editor. Like, that doesn't have that wind simulation going on. So it trips out, and then it basically moves at its max level. But I don't have that problem now because I'm in the game. So now we can, get the wind simulation and get the deformations for stepping on the grass and everything else. And the flower looks good. I'm excited about it. It's gonna look pretty. Just needs a little bit more on it, and then we'll be good. I might even make it bigger, to be honest. I might scale it. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. Because it's a little small. I don't know. We'll see. Not too bad. And then it'll move just like these will. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. Just need to finish it off. Thanks. You're nice. Blueback. Too nice. Did the stream die? Holy crap. No. No internet. Don't die. Okay, it doesn't look like it died. I'm seeing 14 KB, 27. I don't know if it's dead or not. I hope it's not dead. I can't tell. It gives me a spinning wheel of death. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not dead for you guys. I don't see it as dead. Oh, it is dead. I'm getting rate hit. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Sorry. Gotta end the stream. Internet is being silly. I don't know what's going on. So, thanks for being here.